This is the Hurricane Maria, that happened 3 years ago in Puerto Rico, leaving people devastated and out of misery with nothing to eat or drink for months, leaving them working in long, dark months. The hurricane left nothing behind, and the governor didn't seem to do much either. The riots that have been happening became so violent that people are being killed and injured day after day. I have a friend that was involved in these riots, and I have done accurate research as well. You will walk away knowing the background and reasoning of why these riots have been happening. I will be talking about the specific promises the governor has made toward his people, the text messages that were leaked out between him and his representatives, making his people uproar in riots. First, I'll be talking about the specific promises the governor has made. People were devastated, and it took everything that they ever owned. It left a massive responsibility on Governor Rosello's shoulders. And according to Washington Examiner, that he promised the power would be up and running within a couple weeks to a couple months. But according to New York Times, it only took 11 months. That is a long time with reading and surviving in long, dark months. In that time, he was in contact with the United States asking for help and money, a total of $94.4 billion, when the hurricane only left back of damages worth of $100 million. In trade, they only received $300 million from a energy plant located in Montana. The governor took a little too long to get his country back up and running, leaving people very upset and frustrated with him. He was begging help from the United States, but was very reluctant on accepting any of the opportunities that we offered him. Moving on, doesn't get any better for him. He actually did something that caused his people to uproar and protest. The messages that were leaked out, he had a group message between him and his representatives that those comments were targeting overweight men and women, gays and lesbians, victims of the hurricane, and even an independence leader that died of cancer that was directly under him. According to CNN News, the messages had targeted over 3 million people of the population. That is a lot of people. Now, they were very crucial and very violent, so people started to act out on these. This was the final straw for them. CNN stated that the chat messages lit the fire, but the tinder had been building for some time, which is true. Like I said, the conversation between them was the final straw of the people of Puerto Rico, making them cause riots. It was the tipping point, making them want to release their opinions about how they felt about everything. Now, let me elaborate the repercussions on these messages. The messages caused riots in the streets and homes. The riots happened shortly after the messages were released. People of all ages were joining in. According to NACLA reporting on America since 1967, dozens of people were killed day after day. That is a lot. Now, they had this motto that if the governor doesn't care about them, so why should they? That's why the killing kind of started. They just didn't care anymore. They wanted the governor to resign, and they would not back down until he resigned from his position. They started in small streets and moved to multiple locations. They even went to the governor's home to get his attention. And even before that, according to CNN News, they went to celebrities' homes, banging pots and pans and singing in the streets just to wake them up and get their attention as well. They even blocked off a major highway. They got the attention of the higher authorities, including Mayor Cruz of San Juan. She has this motto to fight for what you believe in, and she according to CNN News, told her people to fight for whatever democracy is left. And Governor Rosello told Mayor Cruz herself that he would be doing himself a favor by shooting her himself and making her lose all respect for him and encouraging him to resign. Now, after all of this, he resulted in resigning from his position as of July 24th of 2019. These riots were very dangerous and violent, killing many people, and they would not back down until he resigned. The promises were not very much promises, they were just statements. The messages had so many violent and nasty comments towards people, making them uproar in riots that killed and injured many. This message shouldn't have even been sent in the first place. He only got an apology, and that wasn't enough for them. After the many deaths and injuries that the riots have caused, Governor Rosello has stepped down from his position, and now there is parties in the streets instead of riots.